Hello, this is Dolly, and it's sweet to be a woman. Topic: does your man compliment you? And if he doesn't, how do you get him to? Okay, so this conversation came about because, the other morning, my husband and I are having coffee in the sunroom, and it's early morning, and I look down at my legs, and all I see is like dry, chappy kind of legs. And it's a change of the season, it's fall, but I'm looking down going like, what just happened to my legs? And at the same moment that that's going through my mind, all of a sudden I hear Larry say, your legs are looking good. And it must have been like the distorted look on my face, because I look up at him and he comments like, why can't you just take a compliment? And, I thought about it, and I realized, first of all, what I was doing with my face when he said that. And then secondly, why in that moment was I completely, judging myself negatively? And at that same moment, he was looking at my legs thinking, oh, I like what I see kind of thing. And so I asked him, what do you see that I don't? Because all I see is dry, flaky legs. And he says, I don't know, it may be the way that the sun is coming in from the window, but I see like these long, glistening, smooth legs. And it made me think about all the conversations that I have with my clients where, the husband, I ask, we'll go into detail because some women really, really want their husbands to compliment them. And that's one of the love languages, right? It's words of affirmation. And so often the husband will say, well, I quit complimenting her because whenever I do, she just passes it off. Like she'll either say, what do you want? Or she'll say, that's not true. And she'll just dismiss it. And here I just did the exact same thing. And so I guess the first thing I thought of was, when he said, my legs look good, and I realized that I was so passive. I was exactly doing what my clients were doing. And here's what I tell them. Number one, so first of all, we need to create this environment, okay? So if we're gonna go through 3 steps of how to get your man to compliment you, first of all, we need to just set the tone. So let's create that environment of, first of all, we need to believe that we're worthy of a compliment, and we need to just love all of ourselves as we are, because if we don't love it, we can't expect somebody else to. And create that environment, that safe place, so that when they compliment us, that we will accept the compliment, okay? So these aren't even steps. This is just setting the foundation, right? So love yourself and create a safe place so that if they do compliment, if somebody compliments you, you got to be able to just say, thanks for noticing. You need to be able to just be thankful for, their words of appreciation or affirmation or whatever it is. And here's our first step. First step is, if you want your man to compliment you, and we're going on the, we're thinking that right now they're not complimenting you because of years of disregard, okay? So first of all, you may have to be the first person to compliment them. So what you want someone to do for you, you got to do for them. So if you're in this toxic place where it's not safe, start out by complimenting them. And it can be anything from something that they've done in the daytime, to an appearance, to something that they've said. So let's say they've emptied the dishwasher that morning or that afternoon, and say, hey, thanks for emptying the dishwasher. I really appreciate it. Number one, you're showing appreciation, and you're taking notice of something that they've done. Maybe it's a physical appearance, and they have forgotten to shave for a couple days, or they're just not shaving. And instead of bugging them about it, you say, hey, I really like your scruff. I don't know how you'd word it, but I really like your facial hair. It makes you look very masculine. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it could be a physical thing, or maybe they started working out and you just say, or they haven't, but you're saying you look really toned today, or what you're wearing makes you look really fit, or find something to compliment about. It could be even something to do with your kids, right? If you have some kids, or if you have a child and you've heard your spouse have a conversation with a child. You can also, a really big one is when you acknowledge something positive that they've instilled in that child. You can say, oh, I really like how you handled that situation. I feel like, you created a really good connection between you and so-and-so. Or I probably wouldn't have handled it that way, but I think that what you did was way better than what I would have done. Like, these are major, major hitting points, because men, first of all, only need 3 things. Like, if we're going to go back to the basics of something that we always talk about with Sweet to Be a Woman, is men only need 3 things. They need to feel respected, appreciated, and desired. So when you're saying something that they've done well, you're showing respect, you're showing appreciation. And those are 2 really key points that, when you're complimenting him, that you can bring to the table. So be the first one. Do to them what you would like them to do for you. Number 2, when they do compliment you, acknowledge it in a really positive way. So don't just say, don't resist it, but take a moment to just say, thanks, I appreciate you noticing that. Okay, not just thanks, but now you're showing appreciation for them noticing. And like, they're gonna feel like a hero, right? They're gonna feel like a hero in your life. And I mean, I don't mean to talk about men like dogs or children, but really, when you're training a dog, or when you're training your children, or when you're training your men, they need to feel rewarded almost. Like, it's like you can't lecture them into learning something, right? Like, a dog is not going to learn if you just keep whacking the dog, right? You need to reward the dog, which brings me to number 3. So now I got, be the first one to compliment. Number 2, accept the compliment graciously. And number 3, reward them. So later in the day, after they've complimented you, you could even bring it back up and say, when you said that, it made me remember all the really great times that we had, or that we have. Or, when you notice things about me, it just makes me connect with you. Or if you want to take it one further, and this is a big one on desire, when you do these things for me, it really turns me on. Like, first of all, acknowledgement, right? You've acknowledged, which is a sign of respect. You're showing them that you're appreciating that they've taken that step, and now you've hit desire as well. Those are all 3, right? And I mean, this isn't rocket science, right? But when we talk about the heart being the home, and how women are the heart of the home, we can't be the heart of the home and then put no effort into our home, right? We can't be the heart, we can't be the glue that holds the family together, and then completely put no effort into our marriages, right? Or into our relationships. So this is like a super, super easy 3-step points that can really make a massive shift in your relationship. And I know that we're talking about so that they notice us, but if we want that, especially if the relationship is in a toxic place already, right? If it's a little bit of a turmoil or disconnect going on, these are major steps. First of all, creating that safe environment, right? And then be the first one to compliment. Notice things that they do. Number 2, accept their compliment graciously and take it a step above, and actually point out what it is that they are actually complimenting you on. And number 3, reward them. All right, I'm Dolly. This is how you get your man to compliment you. It is sweet to be a woman. I love you, ladies.